Hi there, and welcome to my channel. I'm Mary Alice. Fear of needles, trypanophobia, is something many people experience, and it can be a significant source of stress and anxiety. So whether it's due to past experiences with needles, a fear of the pain associated with needles, if it's about medical procedures and getting medical care in general, assuming, I might have to get a shot or I might have to draw blood, or just a general unease that's always been there, this fear can deeply affect our well-being and make us put off getting medical help and spend our days in dread if we do make an appointment waiting for the day to arrive. So in this video, we're going to focus on releasing the negative emotions and fears tied to needles. You're not alone in this feeling. Like I said, it's a phobia, right? So it can definitely sometimes seem, or oftentimes, or every time needles come up, seem overwhelming. So look, I'll be honest, needles don't really faze me. I've had many surgeries and other medical procedures I've had that required shots or IVs, and I'm intensely grateful that I don't have a fear of them. But I can put myself in your shoes at the mere thought of an epidural or a spinal tap. Those two types of needles do really give me some kind of feeling. So my heart goes out to you. I cannot imagine having paralyzing fear every time the idea of a needle comes to mind, especially when you're already potentially sick and stressed out. So, while avoiding needles is obviously not always an option, it's important to address these fears so that they don't control us. And that's where tapping can be incredibly helpful. So whether you're familiar to tapping or you're new to it, I'll guide you through the process. You're going to tap slow and with intention, focusing on memories of past experiences with needles or an upcoming procedure you have, and where in your body is that sensation, or what emotions does it evoke? Is it fear? Is it grief? Is it shame? Is it whatever it is? You want to really focus on those as you tap. If you find yourself becoming anxious, your tapping is likely to speed up. So take a deep breath, try to calm yourself, and really over-exaggerate how slowly you're tapping. Follow along, and remember to use words that resonate with your personal experience so you can swap them out to whatever you need to. And if you get really overwhelmed and can't focus on everything at once, just keep tapping. That's the most important part. And breathing, then focus on the memories or emotions, and then when you can, get back to repeating after me, okay? So let's start transforming your fear of needles into a more manageable and less distressing experience. Before we begin, take a moment to rate your current fear of needles. On a scale of 1 to 10, 1 being little to no fear, and 10 being intense, paralyzing, overwhelming fear. So you got that number in mind, 1 to 10. And let's get started. Even though I feel anxious and fearful about needles, I deeply and completely love and accept myself. Even though I feel anxious and fearful about needles, I deeply and completely love and accept myself. Even though I feel anxious and fearful about needles, I deeply and completely love and accept myself. So here on the inside of your eyebrow, either side is fine, whatever hand you're most comfortable with. Even though I have a strong fear of needles and feel overwhelmed by them or the thought of them, it's okay. Here on the temple, even though thinking about needles makes me anxious and tense, I deeply and completely accept myself. Under your eye, probably close to your nose, if there's somewhere you feel extra sensitive, tap there. Even though I worry about the pain or discomfort associated with needles, it's okay. Between your nose and your lip. Even though I feel scared and uneasy at the very thought of needles, I still love and accept myself deeply and completely. Between your lower lip and your chin, even though I feel a sense of dread whenever I think about needles, it's okay. It's okay. On your collarbone, even though I feel silly or ashamed when others tease me about my fear of needles, it's okay. Anywhere along here, usually towards the chin, wherever feels most sensitive. My fear is valid, and people teasing me isn't nice. That's on them. I know I can heal myself of this phobia, and I still love and accept myself. Even though I have an intense fear of needles that makes me feel helpless, I deeply and completely accept myself. Even though I get anxious and panicked at the thought of being stuck with a needle, it's okay. Even though I'm afraid I'm going to faint or make a fool of myself somehow, it's okay. It's okay. I still love and accept myself. Even though I worry about the possible pain or discomfort from needles, I still love and accept myself deeply and completely. That's a valid fear. Even though I'm afraid I'm going to be sore for days if I let someone near me with a needle, I acknowledge that fear. It's okay. I still love myself. Even though my fear of needles overwhelms me and stresses me out, I begin to drop this belief. I begin to drop this fear. Even though I have strong negative feelings about needles and they make me really uneasy, it's okay. I'm going to be okay. Even though the idea of needles triggers a deep sense of fear within me, I still love and accept myself deeply and completely. Even though I often imagine the worst possible scenario with needles, and I end up scaring the crap out of myself, it's okay. Even though I have a deep-seated fear of needles that affects my peace of mind, I know it's safe to begin to drop this belief. And I do that now. I drop this belief. I begin to acknowledge that fearing I'm going to be sore for days is valid. That's okay. That's okay. I also remember now, usually a shot or an injection is not unbearable pain days later. I'm scaring myself, and I can stop doing that now. I begin to imagine a life where I think of needles with ease. I begin to open to the possibility of feeling calm and relaxed about needles. I begin to embrace the idea that needles are a part of necessary medical procedures, and I know that, but I also know I can handle them with confidence. I begin to open to the feeling of calmness whenever I encounter needles. I'm now feeling more at ease with the idea of needles and medical procedures. I'm now open to managing my fear of needles without anxiety. I'm now recognizing that I have the strength to handle my fear of needles. I'm now feeling more comfortable and relaxed at the thought of needles. I am now feeling more comfortable at the idea of needles. I am now feeling relaxed at the thought of needles. I am now comfortable and relaxed at the thought of needles. Even though I've struggled with the fear of needles, I am now comfortable and relaxed and confident that I'm going to be okay the next time I have to have an injection or an IV or anything to do with needles. Deep breath and squeeze. Okay, on that scale of 1 to 10, where are you now with the fear of or the anxiety around needles? So if you're still feeling these really strong emotions, don't worry. It can take a few rounds of tapping to fully release these fears. Remember that healing takes time, and that's perfectly okay. So if you need to, revisit the beginning of the session or where we started tapping and tap through the script again, really focusing in on the remaining emotions or memories that come up. Feel free to use tapping anytime you need to address this fear of needles. You could do it at home, before appointments, in the car, or in the parking lot. You can do this in the waiting room, or while you're waiting in the actual room and they've gone to get the items, or if you're just afraid you might have a shot, you don't even know, you can just calm yourself while you're waiting for the doctors, nurses to come in. Whenever and wherever you feel anxious, tapping is there for you. So if this session was helpful, please do like the video and subscribe to my channel for more tapping videos. You'll get notified of those, and of course it does help the channel grow, and pass this along to anybody you know has a fear of needles, and maybe it'll help them with their next appointment. If there's a specific fear or challenge you're facing, especially specific to needles that just you seem to not be able to break through that last little bit, let me know in a comment, and I'll put together a video and share it on the channel for you to work your way through that. So remember, you're more than your fears. You have the power to overcome them and to remain calm. So be kind to yourself. You deserve to feel comfortable and at ease. Keep tapping regularly. Know that you have the strength to handle your fear of needles. I wish you peace and comfort until we meet again. Later.